Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, and it's been kind of a weird time for me because, the offseason, rumors, speculation, roster moves, all these things were really heating up in September, and it was a ton of fun. Every single day we were getting a ton of big news. It was super exciting. My channel was doing well, which is always great, but it's also just more fun because I love talking about the roster theory crafting, all that stuff, and it seems like, you guys like to talk about that stuff as well, so it makes, YouTube really fun, really exciting, and really easy, but obviously things have slowed down a little bit, and that's okay, because if things are ever going to slow down, I would love for that to be because of the World Championships. Honestly, as an esports fan, my favorite time of the year, so that's totally not a problem. But now, as we get closer to the end of Worlds, especially, closer to the end of Worlds for the West, we're already starting to have a couple of Western teams eliminated. In the next coming days, we might have a few more eliminated. Who knows how far, like Cloud9 or anyone else is going to make it. We're going to start getting a lot of roster rumors, speculation, leaks starting to come out again because the offseason is going to begin for a lot of these teams, and especially for a lot of the bigger teams in the West. So we're actually going to have a lot of news, a lot of stuff heating up in the near future. And today we actually have some pretty big stuff, an interesting rumor to talk about regarding TSM, which I think is really exciting. And I can't wait to talk about it. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I would appreciate it so much. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content, and consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamGerm. With that being said, let's get right into this one. So, like I said, as Worlds has been going on, we're getting closer to the end of it. We're getting closer to the actual offseason. Once Worlds ends officially, like we know who the best team in the world is, we know who the champion is, that's when things are really going to heat up and get spicy. But even now, I have more and more people reaching out to me all the time. There's, rumblings going on. There's people talking about all the different things. We had G2 and Carlos, blowing up their roster, blowing up their coaching staff officially. These things are starting to come out. And one of the new things regarding TSM that actually came across today was regarding a clip from Jankos that we're actually going to check out. I think I have my scenes messed up, so I'm going to have to fix it real quick. Yeah, I do have it messed up. But we will, get into this. Here's the clip from Jankos that I wanted to go over. He talks about some of the TSM stuff heading into the offseason.
I'm not sure if there's like any... I'm not. The thing is, I'm not sure if I should consider NA teams. If you say TSM Reckless, I guess if TSM was Reckless, that would make sense too. He has a big brand. He has a big brand. They have a big brand. They are kicking everyone, I think, except for Speaka, or I heard rumors. So if that's the case, then TSM Reki. I'm not sure if that.
So, Jankos dropped some bombs on us right there. Some of the stuff going on behind the scenes that we've heard about so far in this offseason regarding TSM is that obviously Bjergsen's return to pro play. We have heard the real rumor going around that it seems most likely that Bjergsen will be returning to TSM, even though he does want to test free agency. I've heard upwards of 99% chance, even greater than that, 99.9% chance that Bjergsen will ultimately end up returning to TSM. And that would make sense, because Jankos talks about replacing the entire roster except for Speaka. So if you're going to replace Power of Evil, especially when there's rumors that he's going to be getting his green card this season, becoming a resident, if you're going to replace Power of Evil, even though, people aren't totally sold on him, I get it, he has his issues, he has his problems, he's still very damn good, and there's still not a lot of great Power of Evil replacements out there, except for Bjergsen. So if they are going to be replacing him, it would be with Bjergsen, and this coming from Jankos. Again, he's just saying it's a rumor he hears, but obviously Jankos is very well connected. He is getting some of the best rumors, the latest, going on around the entire pro scene. He knows everybody. He's got friends all over. And if he's saying this, if he's leaking this about TSM, I would assume that there is some fire, to that smoke of the rumor. We've heard... And we've assumed for a while that Lost is going to be gone, especially now that TSM has his FTX money. They're ready to throw it around. Lost was fine. He was good. He was a okay AD carry. But if TSM's goals are not only to make it to Worlds, but to do well at Worlds, Lost probably isn't the AD carry for them right now. But we hadn't really heard a ton about TSM potentially moving on from Huni or Sword Art. Now, there were some things popping up more and more where I was hearing potentially about TSM being willing to move on from Sword Art. I was a little bit skeptical of how likely this was because, one, Sword Art wasn't bad this last year. He was okay. I would say he was a top somewhere between 3 and 5 in terms of supports in North America, which probably isn't saying that much because support's not even that great of a position in North America in the first place, but he was okay. He wasn't bad. And I also think it's really hard to evaluate him or judge him, since I do think he was playing with a rather weak AD carry and lost, and maybe with a better AD carry, Sword Art could have potentially been more unlocked, but obviously I think he was grossly, I mean, almost disgustingly overpaid this past season, so I could understand why TSM would want to move on and get out of that contract, but my only concern was, is it going to be expensive to get out of that contract? Is there a cheap out? Would it be a huge buyout? Would it be costly for TSM? And then also, who would they get to replace him? Now, instantly where my brain was going a little bit was maybe they'll get Mickey. Maybe they'll bring that Mickey and Reckless bot lane over to the LCS. Now, yes, they didn't work out super well this past season, but they had their moments. You know, they ended the regular season really strong. They had some moments in the playoffs, but then there was the kind of the clip of Mickey coming out and talking about how he didn't think him and Reckless synergized that well, and he didn't really think they were that great of a bot lane together. Okay, so, you know, throw him out. But then you get to the other option where Treats is out there as a free agent. Now, you know, Treats is going to get some big offers. He's going to be on the radar for G2, but it seems like G2's number one choice is Lebrov, and Treats played at such a high level in the spring split last year, it would make sense for TSM to want to go after him. Now, yes, he does take up an import slot, obviously, but again, he's a much cheaper option than Sword Art, and there's an argument to be made that he's even better than Sword Art at this time. I don't know how Treats and Reckless would pair up together, if Reckless is even going to come to TSM or whatever, but, you know, I think Treats is an option, and other than that, I don't really know who the other options are for support. Maybe they could go for somebody like Ignar or something like that, which again, debatable who's better between Sword Art and Ignar, but again, Ignar would be a fraction of the price, which is a very, very big deal here. And then finally, if they're replacing everybody, that means Huni in the top lane as well, which as a TSM fan, I'm actually in favor of them replacing everybody except for Spica. I have said that in my TSM rebuilding videos. I have said that, you know, obviously I would take Bjergsen over PoE. Obviously I think they need a new AD carry, but I'm totally down for a new top end support too. I think Huni was fine this last season, but I don't think he was all that great. I think he was the 5th best top laner in the LCS, which again, if TSM, your goal is to win championships, go to Worlds, do well at Worlds, I don't think Huni has to be a lock in your roster in the future, and I don't think he's simply good enough at this time. Now, who would TSM get? That is my one problem. I don't know. Would they go after Wonder? I don't think so. Would it be like, are they going to try and buy out Impact? Are they going to try and buy out like a Licorice? I don't know, because I'm definitely not in love with Huni, and I think he's very, very upgradable, but I just don't see any immediate upgrade options right now, or where TSM would be going or looking. But I know there's so many different possibilities, and obviously TSM being one of the biggest brands in the world and having pretty much the most money out of all the teams in the West now to throw around at this point, there really shouldn't be anybody off the table, which makes this very, very exciting, very, very interesting, but also important for TSM. They're going to have so many different possibilities, options, and choices at their hands that it's going to be pivotal that they make the right decisions, that they make the right calls, because the decisions TSM makes this offseason is going to have such a lasting impact on the team. You know, it's going to define TSM and Bjergsen's legacy. It's going to decide how long and or how much longer Bjergsen stays with the team, and also just how good or bad this team can be for years going ahead into the future, and their financial situation, because they're probably going to be throwing around a lot of money this offseason. If they throw around a lot of money and it still ends up failing, that's going to be very, very disappointing. But I knew this offseason was going to be interesting. You know, I knew new mid laner, new AD carry, some changes coming to the team. But now Jankos is telling us that we might have 4 new changes to TSM, and there's rumors that they're going after grabs as well. We could be looking at a new look team in 2022. And I, for one, am very down for that. I think that is a very, very welcome change with how terrible TSM has been the last couple of years. But yeah, Jankos, you know, dropping a little bomb on us, something exciting and fun to talk about, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out. So definitely drop a like if you guys did enjoy this video today. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. What roster would you like to see for TSM in 2022? Any players, the whole roster, whatever. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, save today, and all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.